Good evening, I'm Toshio Okada. It's my seminar, September special number. I'm gonna talk a little more about GAINAX. There's something I haven't been able to write about GAINAX yet. That is the story of how GAINAX started up. In legend, and also in everything I've ever written, the story is like that a group of very talented people got together in Osaka to make anime, and they went to Tokyo for more success. It's written as a legitimate success story like that. But in fact, the process from Daikon Film to General Products, which was a shop I owned, and then to GAINAX was not glorious or anything. It was a lot of wrangling over money and stuff like that. There's a lot I can tell you about the wrangling part. I could go on and on about the backstory. But I didn't know if I can make it interesting and useful. I held back because I was not sure. What caused GAINAX to start up is, how should I say? Because I was not a trustworthy guy. The first reason of that is I didn't get the staff's demands properly. I knew how much Anno was devoting his life to the 8mm special effects film The Return of Ultraman, but I discharged Anno as the director because he couldn't make it on schedule. There are many different reasons as well. But for myself, I think the biggest reason was, from here on, it will be a story no one has ever heard. I don't want to talk about it though. At that time, there was a woman I worked with at a sci-fi convention or something. Although I was married, I had an affair with that woman. She said, "You have a wife, what will happen to me now?" But I just said her, "Take it easy." I was faking it on the fly. There are some comments, "Really, you are the worst." Yes, I am the worst. I'm so sorry. That's why I've never been able to talk about it, and I even didn't want to. But it can't be helped. The only way to show my humanity is to talk this story for free. The woman told other staff members about our relationship, and I was blamed by almost everyone. They said, "Do you think you did a right thing, or I can't work with you anymore?" Oh, I got some comments. "I didn't think you were that kind of guy." "I'm so disappointed in Toshio Okada." "My bad." "Is your daughter watching it?" "I don't think she does, but I'm sure she will eventually." "I'm sure my daughter won't talk to me for at least 10 years. Now I'm telling this story, knowing that. At that time, I thought that I couldn't live in Osaka any longer. For me, that is the most decisive reason for the start of GAINAX. In other words, all the people I felt more than my family or relatives, and who I thought I was going to work with for the rest of my life. I was being told, "I despise you and I can't work with you," by all of them. I couldn't bow my head and say, "Please work with me again." I was not that nice. So I wondered what I should do if I can't stay in Osaka anymore. At the same time, Yamaga had a thought like mine. He is the director of The Wings of Hanyamais. He thought he didn't want to live a happy life in Osaka. The reason of that is Anno and Akai were happy enough in Osaka. Although Anno was discharged in the middle of directing The Return of the Ultraman, he made it to the end and was thinking about what to do next, and was invited to Tokyo to work on Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. He occasionally went to Tokyo to work as an animator and make an independent film back in Osaka. So he had a well-balanced life. Akai wanted to make special effects films. When he goes to Tokyo for special effects films, he has to enter the huge studio system, the bottom of the film industry. He had to think about what he could do there. "I don't want to go to a place like that," he said. He thought he would make an independent films in Osaka. A 8mm film, then a 16mm film, then a 35mm film. Step up gradually like that. In that sense, Akai is both a strategist and a stalwart. It was the way he thinks. But only Yamaga thought he didn't want to end up just being a major independent filmmaker in the Osaka countryside. But our group was about to be satisfied with the circumstances in Osaka. At that time, I had a plan. In my case, I couldn't stay in Osaka anymore. And Yamaga said, "Mr. Okada, if you can't stay in Osaka, why not going to Tokyo together?" I thought making anime with Yamaga was like a choice to run away. But I didn't think it was impossible. I expected about a 25% success. Considering the state of the anime industry or the things we have, even though I lost all credibility in Osaka. And also thinking about the people I can move and the influence I have. If we go to Tokyo and work hard and become a nice boss and become an excellent producer, I thought the success rate would go up to 25% or even higher. And Yamaga said even if we only succeeded 10% of the time we had to do it. Then we were like, okay, let's go. We quit all those general products in Osaka. So in that time, everyone except Yamaga and me, who are now working for GAINAX. All the people around me didn't believe that GAINAX could be made. Just Yamaga and I kind of believed in it. Yamaga knew we had to do it. And I had nowhere to return to if we failed. Just the two of us went to Tokyo to get started. So even when GAINAX got bigger, we couldn't get people from Osaka. I didn't have that confidence. If you ask me to tell you how GAINAX came to be, I have to tell you this story. If I don't tell this story, it's going to be a misconception that talented people came to Osaka and worked hard to make it happen. It doesn't mean we had some luck and we had the talent. It also doesn't mean we had a good time. But those who were in Osaka at that time, even I, even the worst me, or Yamaga, or Anno, probably not that different from you guys watching this show. We were nothing, we just had a reckless motivation. So no one believed us when we said we were going to make a presentation to Bandai. To make a movie with a budget of 300 or 400 million yen. So I don't want you to think of it as too much of a heroic story. When I went to Nagoya the other day, a college student asked me what kind of person Anno is. I wondered why he would ask such a question. I guess in his mind, Hideaki Anno is such a great person and a great man that he really want to know what kind of person he is. Maybe that's the way he thinks. Looking at each of them, not as much as I do, but they were all bums or weirdos. I think it's just that only one part of their ability happens to be extremely good. So you shouldn't think about, what shall I say? You look up to them as if they are great people or different from you. But I don't want you to worship us like a god. It's same for me. And also for Anno, Takashi Murakami, maybe Mr. Oshii and all the others as well. You should think that you're going to be greater than them and you can pass them at any time. Imagine how many years it will take. I think life is definitely more interesting and richer if you think of it that way. Well, it's time to end the show. On pay-per-view, I might whine, why did I tell this story? Maybe my daughter will eventually see it and despise me. Wrap it up with a story about an affair. Yeah, it's really something. Because I'm vain. I never thought I would talk about my affair at all. Okay, it's about time. Thank you for watching my show. It hurts to see the Frick staff over there looking at me. They are like they couldn't believe I was that kind of person. We didn't even talk about it in the meeting. The director is laughing so hard. It's hard for me to see his happy face. Nico News will write something like Toshio Okada, a live broadcast, revealed his affair. Just don't do it on Nico News. They do right when I say not to. Okay. Now let me talk about something worse. Nothing came to mind.